And here's my name, Aneeshwar. I was talking about all the swan facts I knew about. There's 6 different species. We're going to talk about the mute swan. And this is how you can identify it. It's completely white body and it's yellow, it's orangish reddish beak and it's big hump. The males have the bigger hump and the thinner one, not that big, on the females, small and sleeker, okay? And they're the commonest bird in the UK, okay? If you see a white swan, just say, look, Mum or Dad, a mute swan. And Mum and Dad could say, how? How do you know it's a mute swan? There's one more difference between males and females. Males have the thicker neck and females have the thinner neck, okay? Where can you see swans mostly in their habitat? You can see them in waterways, canals, and also cities sometimes, and even parks, huge parks, okay? So, swans are called the symbol of love because they only mate with one male swan or female, and they'll live with it for the rest of its life. Also, they make a heart-like symbol out of their necks and beaks. That's very cool, right? So who supplies the material, who makes the nest, and what do they use for the nest? So first, what do they use for the nest? It's easy, just dried up grass, sometimes water reeds, and even sometimes sticks what they can break off from dead trees and stuff. That's good. And how do they make the nest? That's a wonderful question. The female does it, and they do it at the end, at the shallows, so it does not float away. So when do swans breed and what time they do it? So that's a wonderful question if some of you ask. They do it in early spring, okay? Very early. The earliest spring you can think of, okay? And both male and female sit on the eggs and they breed. Takes for 35 to 41 days to do it. That's a long time, really. When we waited for those baby cygnets to hatch, it took for a long time. How do they spend time with their mother? So they're mostly a brownish, actually more like a greyish whitish colour, mostly like that. And also they spend their mum and dad's time just following them wherever they go. Sometimes one sits on them, when the other guards, okay? They take turns. That's very fair, right? When one's finished their job, the other one shares its job. And the other one can go out searching and fighting any intruders in the territory. That's very clever, right? That's very smart as well. So what you can feed and how can you help swans? That's a brilliant question if some of you thought of that. So first, what can you feed them? That's a very tricky question, right? So you may think bread's the answer, but bread is actually not good for them. You can choose sweet corn and oats and seeds and a few more, but make sure not to choose bread. Also, they can find their own food like weeds and some grass as well. So, how can people save the swans? If some of you also thought of that, that's an extreme good question. So I'll solve that for you. Stop polluting their environment. Stop doing this by not throwing oil in the water. That is dangerous and it's a really terrible threat to swans. It could lead to death of them. Stop making new families. I was lucky enough to see some baby swans in Sankey Valley last time. And there was 10 of them, 10 cygnets. That's what baby swans are called, cygnets, okay? I've seen in Sankey Valley Canal, okay? It's one beautiful canal, okay? And its full name is Sankey Valley Canal. You have to see it. It's a wonderful wildlife place. You have to look at it. It's so beautiful. If you don't like, if you kind of mix like it, yeah, when you go to Sankey, this will totally change your mind. You'll love it when you see it, okay? It was wonderful. I just loved it. Yep, I especially loved the time when I was so close and I could see the baby swans wonderfully with my binoculars. It looked so good. Like double nice. Yep, it just looked like two of these logos. It looks so good. I can't even tell how much I like that.